up in the sky. Wouldn't you believe it? It's the Superman of the screen. In 2025, David Corenswet is the latest to wear the red and blue. But for a bit of nostalgia, let's deep dive into the 1950s to revisit this guy. Remember him? The one and only George Reeves, star of the TV series The Adventures of Superman? Today we launch part one of our physical media exploration of this fascinating show that lasted for 6 seasons. G'day viewers, Retro Man here and welcome to the show. Now today I'll be discussing The Adventures of Superman on physical media. Now this was a TV series that first hit the screens during the golden era of television. This series ran from 1952 through to 1958. It actually ran for 6 seasons. The first 2 seasons were in black and white and the last 4 seasons were in colour. Now it ran for a total of 104 episodes and it starred this guy here, George Reeves, as Superman. He was a wonderful actor. He had a lot of charisma. He made a great Clark Kent and he was also very believable as Superman. Now these Superman episodes are like a little detective story in a sense. Some of them play out like those old Humphrey Bogart gangster movies with that fantasy element of Superman thrown in. They're very grounded, very believable, but then you have the fantastic when George Reeves comes in the suit, and then it adds a little bit of magic to things. So this is a wonderful series, and in 2006, to coincide with the release of the brand new Superman movie, Superman Returns, starring Brandon Routh. Remember, this was the big era of DVDs. They decided to release all of the Adventures of Superman on DVD. So these box sets started coming out in 2006 and they started appearing in Australia here in all of the local supermarkets, and they had a retail price of about $40. But if you were lucky, you could go there sometimes and they had them in bulk, and they had some of them on sale for $35, $36, and sometimes you could score a series for the low cost of about $31. So that's about $9 saving off the retail price. And this is The Adventures of Superman Season 1. Now, this first season contained 26 episodes and it ran, it says here, for over 11 hours. There's also a handful of extras on the back here, and this is just a really great season. It is jam-packed with action, great performances, and it is very fast-paced. And what I will say is that the stories are very intriguing. They really get you in, and in that 20 or so minute time frame, they really have you engaged for the entire duration. So they're really well thought out stories, the scripts are wonderful, and the performances are usually always on point. They have these great guest stars appearing as the heavies, and they add so much to the existing landscape of Clark, Lois, and of course the big guy, the chief, Perry White at the Daily Planet, who plays a wonderful role. And let's not forget Jack Larson as Jimmy Olsen. He is great also. Now let's take a closer look at Season 1 here. What I really like is the packaging. They have a nice cardboard slip cover. The plastic box comes out like that, and inside you get all the discs, which is really, really cool. Now the first season was a total of, let's see here, 5 discs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 26 episodes spread out over 5 DVDs. They're in black and white and they look really cool. Now let's take a look at the second season. The cover's a little bit different on this one. As you can see, there's more a close-up shot of George Reeves. There's some different photos on the back. and it says powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men, which of course is one of the catch cries from the Superman March, which precedes every episode. So this one contains 26 episodes. It is 10 hours in total, and this one is also shot in black and white. So we have that cardboard slipcover, the plastic case with the discs, and there is once again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DVDs within. So that's season 2. Now, they did something different because the series was so popular after the first 2 seasons. They actually decided to shoot the remaining seasons in colour, which was really cool. Now, a lot of people didn't have colour TV sets back in those days, but they were forward thinking, the makers of this series. They spent the money, they shot the remaining series in colour because it was just so popular, and many people didn't get to see the episodes in colour until 1965, I think, on reruns in America. And when it came to Australia, I mean, we didn't get colour TV till basically 1975, another 10 years on again. So when these DVDs came out, to see these other episodes in colour was a real thrill for purists, because many people had only ever seen this series in black and white. So anyway, this 3rd season, here it is. They've actually bundled the 3rd and 4th season together, and they're both colour seasons. And they've done that split screen on the front with Superman and Clark, and it says on the back here, powerful, wonderful, colourful, the in-colour adventures. So they make that clear on the packaging. This is also a 5-disc set, but the seasons actually run a little bit shorter this time, and there are less episodes. But anyway, there's some special features on the back of this box set, and there is a featurette or 2 that do appear throughout this collection. But what they were doing at the time was they were chopping up Look Up in the Sky, the amazing story of Superman, which was a documentary that came out in 2006, and they were putting excerpts from that in these packs. So I felt at the time that was a wonderful idea. But anyway, I managed to pick this one up from a Big W store in Australia back then in 2006 for the bargain price of $31. I still have the price sticker there. And there is a little bit of difference in the packaging. As you can see, it's a lot thinner this time. And we have that thinner plastic case, but we still have the 5 DVDs. So they bundled 3 and 4 together. But I'll tell you something that they did which saddened a lot of Superman fans at the time. People were collecting this, and unfortunately in Australia here, they actually halted the discs after this release here. Season 3 and 4 was it in Australia. They didn't release season 5 or 6 in our country. So that was really disappointing. But I happened to go on holidays to the United States, and basically I went to a supermarket over there and I went looking for the Adventures of Superman, and voila, I found it on the shelf. And if I remember correctly, I went out to a Virgin Megastore, I think in 2007, and picked this up in the United States. And they had a few of them on the shelf, and I went, that's what I want. They're not releasing anymore in Australia. And I bought it, and wouldn't you believe it, it is still sealed. So I've never got around to watching the final 2 seasons, 5 and 6. So this is still a sealed box set. But it does have the retail price on the back. It actually set me back $40 US to get these 2 seasons. So it was a little bit of an increase in price based on these, because the Australian dollar wasn't worth a lot back then. So $40 US for 2 seasons that you couldn't purchase in Australia was still A-OK by me. It really works out $20 US a season, and really that is pretty good. So there we have it, the 6 seasons of The Adventures of Superman. It totaled 104 episodes, and it really is must-see television. This show is just so much fun, and I have a few more things to say about The Adventures of Superman, so please join me for The Adventures of Superman on Physical Media Part 2. That episode should drop very soon. So until then, this is Retro Man, living the dream, retro style. Stay gold.
Thanks for watching. Retro Man will return faster than a boomerang. But in the meantime, please check out these other episodes.